Hey everyone, I'm Jossum Sauce.
And I'm Tyler Salt.
And I'm Godzilla. And this is Game and Guess. I am super excited for this episode. We are playing Godzilla, Monster of Monsters. Not King of the Monsters, but Monster of Monsters for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Tyler, how you doing? What is going on here today?
I'm doing great. I have absolutely no idea what's going on today. I'm gonna hit start here and hit new game, and Jaws told me, "Oh, we're gonna watch this. Can I skip past it?"
Yeah, we don't need to know we don't need to know stories. It's Godzilla. So
Jaws says there's something weird about a stage select, and
yeah,
yes, there is. Okay, so I'm Godzilla. I'm up here in the upper left-hand corner.
Yeah, and Mothra.
And I'm Mothra. Okay, yeah. But I can only be able to move down and up?
No, so you need to select one of those. Do you want me to tell you what you're supposed to do?
Yes.
Okay, I'll be your instruction manual. You want to press A on one of those guys to kind of activate it. Yep.
I see. Okay.
Now move them hexes, and I think Godzilla can go. Yeah, you got to do diagonal to the right. Now, yeah, so that question doesn't make any sense.
I got to do a diagonal.
There you go.
Okay.
So each one of those squares, hexes,
is a
whatever.
level.
Yeah, and so go as far as you can. And your goal is to go smash those monsters that are gonna move too.
Okay.
So Mothra can move 3 spaces and Godzilla can move 2.
Okay.
And now you get to side-scrolling action, which is sweet. So like you can press
and punch.
Yeah, and press start to blow your breath,
start
which is
does
sweet.
Something.
Yes, it does.
Wild.
And that's your little power meter. So yeah, this is the game. This is Godzilla.
Let's
So
go.
20 questions, as always, 5 points each, unless otherwise. You guys know how it works. Follow along, play along. Let us know how you did. All right, so everything has to do with Godzilla in a way, but not really. I'm not expecting everybody to know all the Godzilla stuff.
That's good. Jaws is a big Godzilla fan.
I am a fanatic.
I know nothing at all about this mythos whatsoever.
I actually own this game. Like that's how hardcore I am for this. Yeah,
that's wild.
The real game.
How do you, there we go.
And behind me, I mean, this is my blanket movie posters, but I mean, I have a whole wall. I'm just a nut. So if you're ever interested in Godzilla, hit me up. I'm super nerd. So question 1, let's start out with what other super nerds like to do with Godzilla. Is of course go to the Godzilla Museum and Hotel in Japan.
Of course.
Where that you can celebrate the iconic monster. A theme park also opened a Godzilla-themed ride that allows you to do what activity into a giant replica of Godzilla's open mouth? Starting off with a good one.
Are we going blue right off the bat?
Yeah. What can you do right into?
I'm gonna say, there's like a slide or something. You take a slide down into Godzilla's open mouth. I beat a level.
You did. It was sort of. You don't really beat the level. The goal is to beat the monster, so you're just traversing the board. No, it's zipline. You can zipline right into a giant Godzilla mouth. So no points there.
Will I fight the enemy? I will.
Yes. Ghidorah. Just not actually in any movies. It doesn't belong in Godzilla.
Better.
Press start and she'll wing people. There you go. Mothra, Queen of the Monsters. All right. So no points there.
Yeah.
So question
that's much
2.
Cooler
this is issue number 2 of Godzilla vs. Power Rangers, the comic book. It's a real thing. We're on 2 of 5 right now, every month. Okay. There's props.
Oh, it's still going?
It's still going. Just started. So it's a comic, right? The first season, this is actually a Power Rangers question. The first season of Power Rangers aired in the United States in 1993 and 1994.
It did.
Which one of the following colors was not a color of a Power Ranger in that first season?
Yeah.
Blue, black, white, yellow, or green?
I know this one because I was 8 or 9 years old when this happened. And I remember very, very fondly watching that first episode. And I recently, and then also was reminded of it maybe a couple years ago, because back when I lived in Boston, there was a diner that I used to go to that would show old TV on the TVs there. And one day I was showing Power Rangers, and was just reminded of those.
Yeah.
And the White Ranger is actually just the Green Ranger later on. So that did not show up in the first season, but the Green Ranger did. So the White Ranger.
You're right.
In the first season.
You're right. Season 2 is when the White Ranger happens.
Yeah,
so,
because clearly the black guy was the Black Ranger, and the
it kind of had
lady
it kind of has some racial
was the Yellow Ranger. So
right.
we had to take the third white guy and make him the White Ranger
right.
instead of the Green Ranger.
And the one female, the white female was pink.
Was the Pink Ranger.
The
Just
Barbie doll.
unbelievable. The early 90s.
Yeah.
What a time.
Fun fact about that, and I'm sure some people know this already, but like Power Rangers throughout like almost the whole series, I'm not sure if they're doing it still now. I mean, Power Rangers is out there, but if they're doing this thing where it's an older Japanese show, the live action stuff is already made for a different show, and then where the monsters are fighting. Then they filmed in the U.S. with just the teenagers. So like any Power Ranger thing was actually another show in Japan that they just like same company, Saban, whatever, I forgot the company, but something Saban.
Yeah.
And so like the first like 10 Power Rangers are and they probably are still doing it, are just some other Japanese kid show by the same company that they recycled with American kids.
That's incredible.
Which is crazy.
So here we go.
Yeah, this is Ghidorah, who doesn't exist in the Godzilla world. So it's from some other monster movie. All right, so we got 5 points to start out with. Good. Speaking of weird stuff in the 90s, in 1992, Godzilla co-starred in a Nike commercial where he played basketball against a future Hall of Famer NBA player. This is all true stuff. Name that player who's still around as a popular commentator during the NBA and March Madness seasons.
Oh, I was thinking that this was going to be, I was thinking that this was going to be like Jordan or Pippen or everything or something like that. But you just gave me the hint. I bet this is the round mound of rebound himself, Charles Barkley.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yep.
Very good. Charles Barkley. It's great. It's still good. It's a Nike commercial that became a comic book that's still it's on my things I need to get, but it's kind of hard to find. But they made a comic book based on the Nike Charles Barkley and Godzilla jamming on each other.
good for Chuck.
Yeah,
that's great.
1992.
By the way,
yeah.
Jaws. I'm gonna say, I like Mothra way better than
Yes,
Godzilla.
me too. Like
Okay,
Godzilla's
good.
better for boss fights because he's just stronger, and Mothra gets kind of sunlocked a lot. But to just fly, you get to fly through 3 spaces. It's fast, but she's super weak as a fighter. So you gotta be careful.
I don't know. Like, hit B or A to do that is
wait for this.
Easier.
Watch. Here comes the stun lock, because this thing just tentacles you into the corner, and then you just get so you stun lock. Now you're not gonna die, but it's just like cool. And now you just wait for the timer to run out, so you get to move on. Like it gave you it gave you a chance. Nope. Now back to the stun lock. Yeah. So
but honestly,
it's
I'm
still
okay
good.
With this.
Yeah. Slow and steady wins the race. Awesome. All right, so you're at 10 points now. Number 4.
Hell yeah.
Not everything was great.
I think I'm at 139,400 points.
Yes, that's right. Is that what it is? Yes, there it is. I didn't even realize there were points in this game.
Who is this guy?
That is Mogura.
Oh, yeah, his name is right there.
Yeah. Which is a robot from space. Well, I mean, of course, everything's a robot from space. All right, but not everything, question 4, not everything was great for Godzilla in the 90s. We unfortunately have to talk about the debacle that was the 1998 Godzilla movie in America. And it actually, fans, we don't call that Godzilla, it's just Zilla. It doesn't get the God part. It's not good enough.
Nice.
But it's fine. It's fun. It's a fun 90s action movie. But that movie starred human Matthew Broderick, not to be confused with the monster part Matthew Broderick, I guess. I don't know. Human Matthew Broderick. He's known for voicing which animated Disney character?
Oh, shoot. Oh, man. I am not going to be able to come up with this, and I am ashamed.
You probably should be.
I am ashamed. All I can think of... oh, no.
I mean, it's worth a guess.
I mean, the only character I can even think of that it would be... Mogura thought that farther fighting here might be disadvantageous, so retreated to the next field.
After killing Godzilla, of all things.
No, Godzilla
just died. So Godzilla's gone.
Yeah.
So you're now...
Oh,
this is now Mothra, Monster of Monsters, no longer Godzilla.
It's funny, the only voice actor I can name right now, this is quite true, but
sure.
All I'm thinking of is the now late great Gilbert Gottfried as Iago in the Lion King.
Well, that's That first part's true. The second part is not. He's not in the Lion King. It's Aladdin.
Aladdin. Sorry. Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. Right. Of course. Misspoke there.
But would you like a hint to get a 2 point?
I would love a hint.
You go with half of what you just said. It will lead you in the right direction.
Okay.
One of the two movies you were talking about is the direction.
Was he Simba?
Which one?
Oh, adult Simba.
Yes.
Okay.
Adult Simba for 2 points.
That was my guess, but I'm happy to take the 2 points.
Well, when you said the Lion King accidentally there, and I'm like, oh, you pretty much have it, just like
I pretty much had it.
Because Iago's the parrot in Aladdin.
The parrot in Aladdin, right?
Yeah, adult Simba, right? Cool.
Yes, adult Simba.
All right, I'll give you 2 points in that one. 12.
Cool. All right, I'll take the 2 points. I was probably going to guess Simba, but you offered the hint. I'll take it and not complain.
Yeah. All right. So number 5 here, you got 12 points so far. This is one of the few actual Godzilla questions, so we'll see how this goes.
All right,
but even though we've been hyped to see Godzilla battle King Kong, Godzilla's main monster nemesis over the year is a different king. What's the name of the three-headed dragon monster that Godzilla has fought many times throughout the series, including in 2019 in the American King of the Monsters movie? And it's this guy right here behind me, three-headed gold dragon.
I could not even begin to tell you the correct answer here.
Ghidorah. King Ghidorah.
All right.
So, all right.
Sure. Why not?
Yeah, that's all right. That's a tough one. I mean, you could have seen the movie recently, or it's kind of in the zeitgeist, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's fair if you don't get it.
Was not going to know the. I probably would have said Mothra.
Yeah, and you've seen the meme because it's the three-headed, like the mean buffoon. Three-headed. That's Ghidorah.
I have. That's Ghidorah. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and so fun fact. So that the names of the heads are Ichi, Ni, and Sans, which is 1, 2, and 3.
1, 2, 3 in
right?
Japanese.
But since that meme came out, and which is a derivative of King of the Monsters, the American movie, everybody calls that Kevin, and the producers and Toho were like, "Sure, you can call him Kevin." So it's Ichi, Ni, and Kevin.
And Kevin.
Because it's just he's the Kevin, spoiler, gets his head chopped off in the movie and has to regrow, and they're all mad. There's a point, that's where the meme comes from, because the two serious heads are like, come on, man. You could just tell with the mannerisms of like, come on, man, you getting taken out like that. All right, there's no monster here, it says.
Well,
fair enough.
I forgot that I had to select her first.
They all left. All right, so since you're Mothra, this question's actually related to that. So, you can obviously play her. She's the kind of the queen of the monsters, if Godzilla's the king of the monsters. She's a moth, but she kind of looks like a butterfly, depending on what's going on. And, it's pretty confusing sometimes to tell moths and butterflies apart.
Sure.
So for 1 point each, we're going to do 5 things. I'm going to give you 5 bugs names, basically. I need you to tell me if it's a moth or a butterfly.
Got it.
So we'll start with what I think should be a common one, Monarch.
That is a butterfly.
Very good. Spongy.
Oh, that's the new name of what used to be a moth named after a racial slur that
yes.
that you might know. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's a moth.
Yeah, the G word that we won't say. Cool. All right, you're up to 14 now. How about peppered?
That sounds like a moth name.
Oh. Good ducking. Yes, moth. It is a moth. You're right.
Yeah.
Ulysses.
Hey, buddy. What are you doing?
This Phoenix on Mars. Wait, did you get Godzilla back?
Yeah, I went to the next
Cool.
field.
Did not ever know. I think I always quit when I lose Godzilla. So never mind. There it goes.
There was not a single enemy in here that was in range for any of Godzilla's attacks except for the breath weapon.
That's fair.
So
you do level up as you get stronger as you fight stuff. So
interesting.
Not helping Godzilla right now, but Mothra doing all the work here.
Yep.
So Ulysses, what did you guess for Ulysses?
Butterfly.
Yeah, that's right. And last one, Luna.
That's a moth.
Right. Good job. Good sweep.
Thank you.
Nice job. 17 points now.
Applause from the audience.
Yeah. It's cool to know about that spongy.
I swept a category on shellfish somehow. That was fun.
Wow. All right, question 7. You're at 17 points. Doing pretty good so far. 17 out of 35 or 30
All right.
out of 30.
Well,
That's more than half.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good for what we normally do on the show.
Yes.
So the first Godzilla movie came out in 1954, and it wasn't the only gigantic, earth-shattering thing to happen that year. In fact, back here in the States, in May of that year, the Supreme Court ruled unanimously that racial segregations in schools violated the Constitution. This is almost the lobbyist of lobbyist softballs to the lawyer Tyler Salt.
Yep.
But what was the name of that Supreme Court case?
That was Brown versus Board of Education.
Very good.
Brown versus Topeka, Kansas Board of Education?
Yes, that's what I was going to say, like, for extra, because you should know which one was it. Yes, Brown versus the Board of Education of Topeka. Yep. Very good. Like I said, it was a little bit of a softball for you with the lawyer, but it's still very relevant, and I hope a lot of people know that.
That decision written by Chief Justice Earl Warren, classic case. So, man...
insert commentary about the Supreme Court here.
No comment.
Moving on. So now we've got kind of a theme for a couple questions. Oh, the police are coming to get you just by hearing that comment.
Oakland Popo is out here.
So, the origin of Godzilla is pretty much explained as sort of the consequence of nuclear warfare, right? And the impacts of nuclear disaster against nature. So the next few questions, we're going to talk about what happened when nuclear science went horribly wrong. So we're kind of talking about historical nuclear accidents and stuff.
Nice.
So
I will refrain from calling you out on how you pronounce this word.
And it's very Michigan. This is a Michigan term for nuclear. Nuclear.
That doesn't excuse or explain George W. Bush.
I did grow up by a nuclear power plant, so I feel like the locals have taught me. Nuclear. Right. How about nuclear? Nuclear. It's really hard to say nuclear. Okay.
Two syllables.
So we know. Okay, so the original movie was a criticism on nuclear. I'm never gonna be. It's 37 years of this. I can't turn back. And the first time we're introduced to Godzilla's destructive power is a specific reference to an American nuke test that went horribly wrong the same year that the movie released. Fun fact. What coral reef structure in the Marshall Islands is the site for that disastrous test, which is also known as the Castle Bravo disaster? What's the name of the coral reef structure?
Is this
or Castle Bravo?
The only thing that I can...
And I can give you a hint to go down to 2. If we
the only thing that I'm going to be able to come up with, I think, is Bikini Atoll.
That's the one. You got it.
Okay, good.
Yep, the hint would have been the common conspiracy theory is this is how Bikini Bottom was created, and SpongeBob is actually is also created. Godzilla and SpongeBob are created by the same bomb test. That's
hilarious.
That's the fan theory. Yeah, Bikini Atoll. It was they did not expect the explosives to be as powerful, and instead of being a tiny little nuke test, it nuked like the entire ocean area.
Well, that was an H-bomb, right?
Yeah, but it got way up in the air that it shouldn't have because they didn't know the explosive level.
And they did not do a good enough job evacuating people, I think.
No, they never did.
Or a lot of the natives were really hurt by that, which sucks.
What happened? So in the beginning, sorry to spoil the beginning of a 70-year-old movie, but in the beginning of Godzilla, there's a ship is floating around. All of a sudden, it's big flashes of lights, and that's supposed to be Godzilla overtaking the ship. This is the ship essentially that was right next to where the bomb went off. That had a Japanese fisherman that had no idea this was going to happen, they were totally irradiated and sick and poisoned,
very dead.
But that was like 7 months later. The movie came out that was referencing that, which is how crazy, how insane they flipped that real fast. But that was the time.
Yeah, that's not great. Not a great look.
No, remember Godzilla was a horror movie.
What am I getting hit by?
Just everything. This game
is
just has
game
everything.
Over?
It is, but that's okay. You just keep trying and get better every time. But I mean, that was Godzilla. Godzilla was a horror movie, and I'll try not to go off on huge tangents. There you go.
If I do last game,
last game, sure. or it deletes the game when you're done. Like the final.
All right. Well, at least start back on the same level. All right. We'll give Godzilla
that's good. He's back. So anyway, and that's supposed to be the Bikini Atoll, the disaster that kicks off kind of Godzilla attacking and stuff. But that was a horror movie, and I know Godzilla's fun and family friendly now, but like that was like a direct U.S. criticism of the war and everything we did. We can go on and on, but Like the origins of Godzilla are not friendly, are not a happy, fun.
That Godzilla
fun
can
thing.
jump.
Yeah, got that in the 70s. All right, so number 9, we're at 27 points here. I'm sorry, 27. You've smashed 27 buildings.
Nice.
All right, so number 9. What was the name of the scientific effort during World War II, led by Americans, that led to the creation of the first atomic bombs that were ultimately dropped on Japan in 1945?
This was a fantastic name for this. Really, just really, really good. Just like whoever named it this did a good job. The Manhattan Project.
Yeah, it's literally the building they were in was the Manhattan Division, and that's where they got the name.
That's less interesting.
And it evolved
I thought it was
into
like
that.
A marketing decision because
No.
it sounds badass.
It does, but it was terrible. But we're by no means being excited about nuclear things. But no, that was just, it started in Manhattan in this thing called the Manhattan Division, which was like the office. So it just, it's boring. But I think I get more vibes from this because I think about Ninja Turtles and the Manhattan Project, the third Nintendo game. Because I think Ninja Turtles, not nuclear stuff.
Yeah.
So. All right, number 10. You're at 32 points. What decade did the Chernobyl nuclear power plant disaster take place? 60s, 70s, 80s, or 90s?
I think it was 80. I think it's 89. I'm gonna say the 80s.
Yeah, 86. Just a few weeks ago, April 26th, I think. Last week of April. So we just came up on the anniversary. Yeah, 1986.
You were just over a year old.
Yeah.
I was just under a year old. So.
Man, I don't remember it. Surprisingly, as a 1-year-old.
No.
So, although it wasn't super obvious here, but again, if you like Chernobyl stuff or interested in that history, there's a lot of good stuff.
I was wondering why you were, peek behind the curtain. Jaws has been mentioning that he's been reading.
I've been on that rabbit hole
stuff.
big time on that history. Watch the HBO show again. A lot of stuff.
Oh yeah.
It's dark. I mean, it's reality, but if you're gonna go into that stuff, get some happy stuff to balance it out because it's kind of dark. But fascinating. All right, number 11. Not quite a nuclear bomb, but still radiation related. A group of women in the U.S. around the 1920s received deadly doses of radiation poisoning because of their job painting watch dials. What was the substance they were painting on watches to get them to glow in the dark?
This is a great question. I believe they were called the Radium Girls.
Yep.
They were painting them with radium.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep, radium it is. Yeah, that stuff. And, again, it's just, I could talk way too much about this stuff because it's kind of a passion area of mine. But the not radium painting, but just nuclear radiation related history.
Yeah.
But they would have their brush and they would put it in their mouth to wet it and fine tip and then write it. So they just basically kept putting radium in their mouth. Thinking it was no big deal.
It's a wonder that any humans have ever survived, ever. Like, honestly.
Especially the 1920s. I feel like every labor-related crazy nonsense thing that should have killed us all was the 1920s.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
The old Gilded Age.
Yeah. And I'm
now
sure.
We're in a new one. So.
I mean, just wait. I mean, not to be a downer while we're playing such awesome video games, but wait till we're old and we find out, the cell phones we'd used or this random plastic we used it turned out to,
Right. Oh, yeah.
We all learn later. Right.
Yeah.
So enjoy your life. Enjoy your life while you can.
I gotta say, not for nothing, Jaws.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that the points here are buildings crushed because I'd like to note I have not destroyed a single building in this video game.
there aren't any
video game to destroy.
You're in space for some reason. You're on Mars now.
We were talking before the episode, before we started taping, that it's possible that this game was one that was originally developed to be something else and then got Godzilla slapped over it at the last minute.
Yeah.
That would not surprise me at all.
I mean, also, it's just kind of, who got the license to make it and were they even good at it? There's a lot of questions. The second one, Godzilla 2, which is super rare. It's very expensive. I think it released it might have, because it released near the end of the NES or was mostly Japan. But that's a tactics game where you're the military, kind of like Advance Wars style tactics, moving units to stop Godzilla and other monsters coming offshore.
That's much cooler.
It feels more real. It feels more Godzilla-y. But why? But that's no fun because you can't beat Godzilla.
That's true.
So this one wins in my heart for that. All right, let's talk about fictional nuclear warfare for the last part of this series here. So the Fallout series video games, which I know you haven't played yet, and I'm gonna keep bugging you to do it.
A little bit.
But it's a super popular, top 10 level series out there for a lot of people. Fantasy role playing game, kind of in the future. According to Metacritic, right, which is that site that compiles video game ratings from critics and audiences, the highest rated Fallout game is Fallout 3. What major U.S. city is the setting for Fallout 3?
Ooh. Okay, so I know.
Also, this is the exact best way to beat this guy. Just tail whip him. Just chill, still knock him instead.
Yeah, take that. You lay off my girl Mothra. So I know that Fallout 4 is Boston, and Fallout New Vegas is Las Vegas.
Right.
Fallout 3, I think, is in, I want to say Washington, D.C.?
Yeah, Washington, D.C. You got
Hell
it.
Yes.
The Virginia, the MOVA area there.
Yeah.
47 points, doing great. 47 out of a total of 60. So you're right. You're right on target.
Sick.
All right, this one has a multiple choice question. Give you some options. So listen up. So Godzilla's original roar, which is pronounced Scree-onk officially, is a marvel of film sound technology and effects. It was made by taking a leather glove, coating it in pine tar, and rubbing it against a double bass string. That's how they made that. Delightful. Another iconic sound in film, the roar of the Empire's TIE fighter spacecraft flying by in Star Wars. It's like, you can hear it. How did they make that? And here's the options.
Okay.
Did they tap different radio and electrical coils with different tools and record the sounds that they made?
Okay.
Did they sample the yell of a walrus who was distraught over his pool being drained empty? Did they take the hum of the motor from an old movie projector and then change the speed to get the sound? Or did they take the sound of a screaming elephant and mix it with a car driving on wet pavement? Fun fact, all 4 of these are sound effects from Star Wars.
Oh, that's that's great.
Which one?
I want to say it is the movie projector.
No, that's a lightsaber. Taking the sound of a screaming elephant and mixing it with a car driving on wet pavement is a TIE fighter.
You made that up.
No, this is real. Chewbacca is a walrus, and other animals, but specifically a walrus that was distraught over his pool being empty. And then laser guns are the radio coils, like just the sound. Pew, 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 pew. It sounds like electric, like feedback.
That's awesome. Foley work, so good.
Yeah, and especially electric was it industrial light and sound magic or something?
Industrial light and magic. Yeah.
So no points there from the screaming elephant. I mean, obviously they slowed it down and they changed,
Sure, yeah.
But it's a screaming elephant that they had, and then the car whooshing kind of on wet pavement. That like slap, slap, slap. That whoosh sound with a little bit of puddle. Yeah,
that's amazing.
So now if you listen to it more, maybe you try to find out, speed it up a little bit.
What's the lore?
This is Varen. He's just a guy.
He's just a guy.
So you don't even face any real Godzilla guys until level 4 or 5. I mean, this is a real guy. He's in the Monster Island and stuff, but that's where I'm I don't even know where they got the source material for these. Maybe there was movies coming out that didn't get made, or Toho was just trying to say, hey, we have other guys besides Godzilla.
Maybe it's all in the maybe it's all in there. Is there Godzilla manga?
Not a lot. Not then. I mean, not in the 80s yet. But speaking of all that stuff, there are tons of Godzilla. This is question 14. Tons of Godzilla-themed merchandise. Like I said, I've got a ton of this stuff. Clothing, posters, action figures. And of course, there's an official Godzilla Monopoly.
Okay.
So in the traditional Monopoly game, all of the colored properties, so not the railroads, not the waterworks and stuff, those are all... Oh, poor Godzilla getting killed by random dragon of fire in Mars. But they're all named after streets that you can find in one specific U.S. city. Which city is that?
U.S. city.
Yep. All of the colored properties can be found in street names in a city.
In regular Monopoly?
Yeah, the standard Monopoly board.
Oh, okay. I thought this was like Godzilla Monopoly.
No,
I was like,
that would be nuts.
Oh no. This is Atlantic City, New Jersey.
That's right.
Yeah.
I figured you knew that one too.
Yeah.
Some of these are in your wheelhouse, just to ease it up on the Godzilla game.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Because this could have gone a whole different way.
Yeah. Yeah, I have never opened it, so I'm not even sure what it looks like, the Godzilla Monopoly, because it's just one of those like
it's
collector
still in the
things.
shrink wrap just in case it's valuable
Because
someday.
who the hell actually wants to play Monopoly? Nobody.
Nobody wants to play Monopoly. My stepmom loves Monopoly, and she on multiple occasions. I would go and visit my dad and my stepmom over the summer as a kid, and multiple occasions she beat me so bad at Monopoly I cried.
Vicious.
And yeah, no, she's absolutely ruthless at games, and Monopoly is terrible, and nobody should ever play it.
That's fair. It's fun. It's fun as like a computer or a video game, because like when you're playing against a computer and you're trying to be more serious about it, like it has.
Yeah,
I think
I
it has more
guess.
value then, but not with
Future
real people.
Game and Guest episode, the NES, the Super NES Monopoly.
Yeah. But you can just cheat in that. You can just get everything to go to auction and then win it for like $3.
Well, that's how the game is actually supposed to work.
Yeah, that's true.
So
I don't
I
think
guess everybody hates Monopoly
Yeah.
because nobody plays by Monopoly's rules.
right. Although I
So-
find the most fascinating part about Monopoly is the social like. The theory of like we can just come up with stuff as a society without even talking about it. That the fact
Yeah.
that free parking is a rule everybody played with, that was
Yeah.
never a rule in the game.
Yeah, where did that come from?
I mean, and people did it like in the 60s and 70s. Like my parents played it that way, and I'm like, how did you know? How could they have known about it? It wasn't like in the paper. So it's just it's like it's the opposite of the
man
man.
power.
It's as long as you have that power, that power bar. But it's like the opposite of the Mandela effect. It's somehow
Yeah.
like put it into our heads instead of. So anyway, all right, you're at 52 points, doing excellent. Now we've got another kind of series of themed questions here to almost finish it out. But Godzilla is, of course, a Japanese creation, and all the movies take place, pretty much everything takes place in Japan. So here are some questions related to Japan.
All right.
All right, we all know that one of Japan's most famous companies is Nintendo, right? We're playing this on NES. Nintendo was
fan.
founded almost a century before it led the video game revolution, way back in 1889. What was Nintendo's original product?
They made playing cards, Joss.
Yeah, Hanafuda flower playing cards, and they actually still make them,
Yeah.
believe it or not, which is crazy.
That's cool.
You can buy them on Amazon. It's like $15. There's like Mario and stuff, but I mean, to honor their heritage, they still produce those little flower cards, which I don't
That's
really
awesome.
know what you do with, but they look cool.
You play games with them.
Yeah, and they have a cool history. Like they got a Disney license, like way early in the time, like one of the first groups to get a Disney license to print products, and there's a cool history there. You're doing great shooting stuff with these balls.
Thank you.
Yep, good balls, Mothra.
Yeah.
All right, number 16. You're at 57 points. You're just climbing a mountain here.
Let's go.
Godzilla films are sorted into 4 categories of eras. We typically refer to them as like the Showa era, the Heisei era, the Millennium era, and the Reiwa era. And I'm pronouncing those probably all wrong. Those eras,
I think probably, but yeah.
yeah, those eras, except for Millennium, are named after what leadership role in Japan?
Can you say that again?
So we generally sort Godzilla films into eras, right?
Yeah, just the names of the eras.
Showa, Heisei,
Okay.
Millennium, and that's the one that doesn't fit this category, and Reiwa, Reiwa, which I'm sure I'm pronouncing wrong. What do those eras are they named after? What leadership role in Japan are they named after?
Are they, I feel like it's either emperor or shogun. No, usually you gotta play the game while you're thinking. It's like,
Yeah.
well, I'm stun locked.
Yeah,
so,
right. You get time to think.
I'm gonna say shogun.
Nope, it is the emperor. So those are the emperor's names during who was emperor. Showa was emperor. So Millennium was just because it was the turn of the millennium and those movies, and then now we're in the Reiwa era. So anything that's new, the last couple are in Reiwa. I'm sorry for mispronouncing that one, but so we say, hey, how? And what's funny is the movies change kind of with the emperor. Like they do fit kind of a different style.
Oh, that's
but
interesting.
but it also because it was like, okay, now it became like the 80s, so there was a different kind of movie style then anyway. But
yeah.
so the Showa era is like the original Godzilla's. Heisei was like when they got funny and weird, like 70s and 80s, and then the Reiwa is the newer one where they're serious again.
Are these like the fictional emperors?
No, the real ones. That's what like their names. There is an Emperor of Japan.
No, I know there is an.
But it's their name. It's like either their common name or the name they took, because they have different names.
I guess I couldn't tell you what the name of the Emperor of Japan is.
Nope.
Like after
Showa,
right.
is Hirohito.
Okay.
So that's why it's kind of like I'm not sure how the names work in Japan.
There's some other.
Because Hirohito was emperor for like 60 years, like for forever, like since World War II.
Yeah.
And that would include the 50s and 60s Godzilla movies, right? So.
Oh no, this is so bad right here.
Yeah, Sunlock. Anyway, the Emperor. So that's how we classify, kind of the categories of the timeline of Godzilla movies. Down goes Mothra
again.
All right.
I'm so glad I'm doing well at the trivia.
You are doing great. We're on 17.
This game is hard.
All right, we're on 17. There's been a lot of controversy over Japanese whale hunting over the past few decades. We've seen documentaries about it. There's activists who work to stop it and all kinds of press. And some things have been taken. Some actions have been taken over the years. Mm-hmm. So true or false, it is currently illegal in Japan to hunt whales.
This is a good true or false question, Josh. Because it really could go either way.
Right.
I'm going to say, so the question was, is it currently illegal?
Correct.
It is currently illegal to hunt whales.
In Japan. Yeah.
I'm going to say, ooh. All right, I think what's going on here is I think that it is illegal to hunt whales. Okay. I think it's illegal to hunt whales in Japan, but the thing is that whalers go out and do it in international waters, and so the rest of everybody gets upset about it, and so I'm going to say that it's false.
So false is the answer. It's not as, conspiracy as that. It's straight up like they left the treaty and don't care.
It's just legal. Okay.
Yeah. There was an international treaty. And I'm not like doing this as like an activist thing, like save the whales. It's just fascinating that Japan had negotiated this treaty, after coming under fire for the whaling industry, and then like for 5 or 6 years they're part of this deal. Like, no, we're not going to do whaling. And then in 2019 they're like, never mind, we're good. We're going to start whaling again. And they left the treaty. So recently they've changed. That's why it's kind of current events.
Oh, okay.
All right. Number 18, so you're at 62 points. Number 18, nice. Japan is a huge archipelago. It's massive with many, 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 many islands. According to the Japanese Ministry of Internal Affairs, this is where I got the stat, with plus or minus 1,000 islands, I'll give you 1,000 either way.
Whoa, okay.
How many islands make up the archipelago of Japan?
Plus or minus 1,000?
1,000, yeah.
Oh, geez, I was going to say like 1,000. I'm going to say 3,000.
No, 6,852.
Holy crap!
There's a lot. Sure. I mean,
there's a lot of them.
It's big. It's huge.
A lot of islands.
6,800
to stomp on.
Yes.
That's wild.
That's a lot of Pokemon islands because they got us to work through. Because they're working through all those worlds, all those areas. All right. 62 points with 2
real?
questions.
I thought those were made up.
Those are like Johto and all those. Those are actual regions of Japan. Yeah,
I'm not that into Pokemon. So.
No, me neither. But that's like some fact. I was like, oh, really? This isn't some made up world. So, although now it's like going to like Norway or something. Like the new ones are gonna go and they're leaving Japan.
Somewhere else.
Yeah, they're like Viking world now.
Nice.
Anyway, Viking, Norway, those aren't even the same place. Sorry, but anyway, Sweden.
Viking is not a place.
Yes, that's right. Scandinavia. All right, number 19. So this is another multiple choice with a lot of really hilarious answers. So so Japan has its own movie awards, just like the Oscars here in the States.
Sure.
Believe it or not, one Godzilla movie won their Picture of the Year prize. It was the highest honor that you can get as a film each year. Just like it's like the Best Picture award for Oscars.
Yeah.
I got 4 actual true Godzilla movie plots for you. Tell me which one is the plot for the film that won.
That won the Best Picture.
This is the Best Picture,
Japanese equivalent of the Oscars. Okay.
Okay, first one. Godzilla fights a pollution monster in an effort to show the damage being done to the planet by industrial waste. Okay. Godzilla battles the spirit of a scientist's daughter caught in a giant plant monster in protest of genetic research and humans trying to play God. Godzilla destroys Tokyo while the Japanese government holds committee hearings and slowly reacts to the ongoing invasion. Or Godzilla teams up with an ancient god to fight a mechanical version of Godzilla from space. One of those.
Are all actual Godzilla.
Those
plots.
are, yeah. I'll tell you which ones they are after that.
Okay, I feel like it's one of the two middle ones. I think.
Okay.
So, Spirit of a Scientist's Daughter, or the government does nothing. I'm gonna say, can you read the second one again? The one with the Spirit of the Scientist's Daughter?
Yeah, Godzilla battles the spirit of a scientist's daughter, caught in a giant plant monster, in a protest of genetic research and humans trying to play God.
I think it's the third one. I think it's the Godzilla destroys the city and the government does nothing about it.
Yes, that's the one.
Yes.
So the first one, the pollution monster, Godzilla versus Hedorah. It was in the 70s, very climatey. I mean, it's what it was. The one I just talked about.
We solved that.
Yeah. And it's still the same. They're like, it's pretty nuts. The other one is the scientist's daughter is Godzilla versus Biollante. That's a giant plant monster, which is a really good movie, but it's super weird because it literally is like the spirit of a girl caught in this plant. Like
in a giant plant monster.
It used like genetics of the plant with Godzilla's cells with the daughter. It was just a weird combination, and then they have to like release the spirit of the daughter to survive. Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, the first one, that's the one where King Caesar is this random god, like historical god, that comes out and fights Mechagodzilla with Godzilla. This is very, late 60s.
Sure.
And Shin Godzilla, which is the newest Toho one. So this came out before, or around the same time as the first American one recently.
Yeah.
This was the one, it's the big red bleeding one, it's crazy. But it basically is making fun of it's pointing out the bad response to Fukushima and the tsunami.
Nice.
Because all it is like the government's going, well, let's have a committee meeting, let's have a charter for a committee, and it's just half the movie is watching slow political action.
A blue ribbon commission.
Yeah. And so Shin Godzilla, just a few years ago, I think it was like 16 or 17, it won like 10 awards, including like a special award. So it was like overwhelmingly the best movie in Japan for a while.
I'm gonna die again here.
Yep. But it's good, and I mean, because it has like an actual, it kind of goes. It's a horror movie again, just like the original one.
Yeah.
But it's about like the Japanese government can't do anything; they're too slow, and which is the reaction to the tsunami and Fukushima and all that stuff. So good job on that one. 67 points. All those are all great movies, real plots.
Yeah.
Gives you a good idea of what Godzilla movies are about.
I'm starting to see what you see in it. These are wild plots.
They're fantastic. I mean, it's like watching James Bond movies that are less sexist. They're just dumb. Like, they're fun and dumb, but some of them were like, they're serious films. Like, they made these as like real things, right? Not just like a dumb throwaway. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
So, all right, number 20. You're at 67 points. Time for you to get a chance for 72 here.
Woo!
Blue Oyster Cult performed the hit song Godzilla, right? Go Godzilla. But they're probably most known for their bigger song, Don't Fear the Reaper. That song was featured in one of the most famous Saturday Night Live skits, starring Christopher Walken, who spectacularly told us that he had a fever and the only cure was more cowbell. Who was playing the cowbell in that sketch?
Oh, okay. I was like, I was getting ready to answer the question. A Saturday Night Live legend, Will Ferrell.
Yes, that's right.
Yep.
For 72 total points.
Yeah.
Very good.
Is that a game against high score?
It's pretty close. You've been in this. I think you've been at like 70 or 72 before.
Yeah.
But this, let's call it. I mean, it's more than I usually get. That's what, and that's what counts.
That is what counts.
Awesome.
Nice.
All right, so,
so
72
how'd I
buildings smashed. So the way we're doing it this time, just to make it clear cut here, is your points are the number of buildings you smash. Your Godzilla, that's the percentage of Tokyo that you've demolished. Sorry, Tokyo.
Tokyo.
How good of a Godzilla were you? You've destroyed 72% of Tokyo, which is pretty good.
That's pretty good.
If,
and again, I'd like to note, destroyed 0 buildings in this game.
That's right. I don't think. Did you even kill a monster?
I did. I killed Baron.
Good.
I think,
You did.
Once. Yeah.
Yeah. You played Godzilla mostly as Mothra, and you barely did any Godzilla things.
Got stun-locked a bunch, which made it easier to answer trivia questions.
Perfect. Awesome.
All right, Jaws, are you ready to find out what you're playing next
I'm
week?
excited. I doubt I have as much memorabilia about whatever you're going to ask me about next time.
Well,
so.
I don't know, but you are playing, I think, one of your favorite games of all time, Mega Man 2.
Oh, it's going to be so good.
Mega Man 2. Great Mega Man, great music in that one. Really excited to write some questions for Mega Man 2 and get that out to you.
Yeah.
I know it's been a little while since our last episode. Real life got in the way a little bit for both of us, but hopefully we're back on the horse now and going to be bringing you more content, more good gaming guests. So tell us how you did in the comments down below. Did you beat me? Did you, if you play this game, tell me how to not die immediately as Godzilla. And make sure to like and subscribe and ring the bell to get notifications for when we put out new episodes, which will roughly be Fridays, more or less.
Yeah.
But ring that bell to find out exactly when.
Awesome. All right. Well, on behalf of me, Jossum Sauce, here with Tyler Salt, hope we'll see you next time for Game of Guess.
Keep gaming, keep guessing, folks.